Hey, welcome back everyone. Rob here from Ram Studio Comics. So I'm working on this one of Sabretooth, and I don't know, I'm not sure if I'm even going to keep it. I'm not sure if I like it, but anyways, I'm working on it. That happens sometimes, folks. I get into a piece and then I'm like, I don't know if I even like this now. But what I thought about doing today, which I thought would be helpful for you guys a lot of times will ask about videos on legs, and I totally get it. Legs are a pain. You see, I've kind of been moving these ones around. I'm going to show you how to attach the legs. Okay, so I think I'm kind of okay with that one, but let me show you how to go about it. So the beauty of digital, obviously, I've got eraser. What is that? I have something on my screen there. I have the ability to just drop in a layer with the legs, right? I like to put it under a layer that is set to screen. Anything below that will be a blue line. And I like to work with the ink brush. I got to get rid of that, whatever that is. Hold on, what layer is that on? This one. It's just bugging me, folks. Okay, there we go. I thought it was something on my screen. So I'm going to draw this in and just show you how I'd go about it. So I was kind of thinking about he was coming forward a little bit, not quite lunging, not jumping or anything, but leaning his shoulders forward and stepping into the action or getting ready to, pounce on somebody. So what I was thinking there, and I could probably even twist the hips back a little bit more. That would probably make it more dynamic, but I would have to change the abdomen because the abdomen would roll down into this area, right? Something like this. But then to bring that leg forward, you do a forward bend out. The knee placement is probably the hardest point to get right, I think, because you want this sense of foreshortening. So you got to play around with where the knee might land. And if you bring the leg up too far, then it almost looks a bit silly. I guess it could still work. Generally, if you bring the leg up too far, I almost feel like you need to put something under it, like you're stepping up on something. But maybe not. Let's try it. I felt like I needed to at the last pose, but it might have just been improper placement of the back leg because, as we know that, one leg dramatically affects the other, right? So maybe this back leg just really needed to be pushed behind. Let me try that. So they kind of curve out a little bit, and even let me zoom up a little bit more for you. I wanted to give you a shot of the screen. I know some people prefer that. It is easier to just do a screen grab of the iPad here, but maybe you need to see me zooming in and seeing the hand gestures and things like that. Totally get that. So the knee we can bring out to here. Another thing I think is really important when you're trying to figure out placement of this, right, is these wrapping lines. Okay, so really use those to your advantage. Here they're going to be a little bit more downward bend, and here they're going to be an upward bend, and that helps convey those forms coming, towards us and away from us. Likewise, as we try to push the leg back here, we have to put the connection points further and further back. So for instance, if I put the calf muscle here and the knee is way down here, and then I shadow this leg, it really starts to look like it's, under and behind this upper portion of the leg. Hopefully, anyways, that's my goal. And then, so really pushing that back like this. I think that reads well, hopefully. Let's check it from a distance. It's kind of out too far away from the body, but I guess I'm still looking at the initial layout of it. So what I mean to say is that the orientation of the knee is a big part of that. So for instance, I'm going to go forward here a couple times. If I get to here and I say I put the knee like this is typically the way I would draw a leg. I put the knee about here, side of the knee. What bone is that? I don't even know what bone that is. The calf muscle, the outer calf. So I'd kind of stack it more. Upper leg's clearly up here, knee area, lower leg, okay? But as I start to push that back, I'm going to get that by overlapping those, and I could even take it really far, and I could say, well, the leg's really pushed far back, and the calf is now way up here, the knees, somewhere in here, and then at a certain point, you would, you'd even do that to the foot, right? You put the foot like, this is looking silly. This isn't what I'm going for, but you see what I mean by overlapping them, by bringing that knee way down into the lower leg and then even bringing that lower leg to where it starts to look like it's tucked behind the upper leg, and you just keep carrying that forward. So, or I'm sorry, backwards, but I don't mean it in that way. I meant just keep trying that overlapping of shapes. Just like if you wanted a leg that was really far back, you would put the calf way back here and you would hide the foot like that. Again, it looks silly. It looks like he's kind of hopping forward. A little hopscotch there for Sabretooth. But yeah, so let's try this again. I think I'm going to bring this leg right over, and I'm going to do a little bit of a cheat. It is digital. I can bring that right over. I can rotate it. I feel like it needs to line up. You know, this is the other thing. It probably would curve back a little bit more. I feel like this one could just be bigger. Especially because I've already went pretty extreme with the, the hands and the arms, overall proportions. I feel like I could probably just go a lot more dramatic with this leg. Let me try to refine it and see if I can make sense of that. So a little soft erase this, or obviously I could just tone back the layer. But I'm going to draw right on top of this layer anyways, so. Let's bring this out. I'm going to go with the over stylized version of the anatomy, so that's why I'm using these kind of exaggerated angles and curves. It can be fun to do. Like that. That knee is pretty weird, but I don't know. I'm still kind of testing the waters a bit. And that's just something I have to do with legs because, I don't know, very rarely get these right on the first try. And that's what made me think to make a video on it. I don't really want to make videos on the easy stuff. That's no fun. Be like, hey, if I'm struggling with it, maybe somebody else is. Okay, that just looks weird. So now another thing I'm going to do, I'm going to start over. So that's that's one potential way to do it, but I don't like that. So I don't want you to, come on, get out of there. But I'm actually going to raise up Sabretooth here. Actually, I got to take this layer, swipe over here. I'm going to raise him up, shrink him down. Sometimes it's just better to be able to see everything. So maybe that's it. Let's try it. Because you gotta, like if I got this ground plane somewhere down here, and I'm not saying this is it, because usually you'd start with the legs a little bit more into the, work with the ground plane to the legs. I kind of work up, but let's try it again. Let's do a little bit less bend on the front leg. Let's put this leg back, but just kind of stepping off of it. Get that S curve, it comes down from the inside of the leg here, medial side, down through the calf. Foot kind of postures out a little bit, I would say. Inside ankle. Say something like that. It looks a bit weird right now, but I'll fix that with the positioning of the knee and then move these around. And then bring this one out a little more. All right, how's that look? It still looks weird, doesn't it? Yes, legs are insanely hard. Okay, so let's bring this up a little bit. That back leg is just not working. Try that again. It's the front leg. I think that almost works. I just feel like it's almost like the I need a little bit more curve right at the end of the leg, so it feels like it's going back towards the body more. Just feels like it comes up here and it's flat. Now, as far as the overall shape of the leg, because you see I'm throwing in shapes, not just cylinders, right? Uh, the thing I'm trying to think about here is that this vastus medialis is lower, lateralis is higher. You get a slant there. Slant here should even be evident, even though it's a different angle. There's an outward tilt to the legs. So I'm trying to get that in there. That's why the knee is pointed out here, foot's pointed out here. So just some of the things that go into this thought process, even though I'm not quite getting it yet. And let's see. I'll just open up a comic and rip off somebody's legs. That sounds horrible. Not literally rip off their legs, just kind of steal the leg design. Put the foot more straight to us because the leg is back, so it kind of would. All right, see, I think I like that better. Even though it's still a little wonky, I think I can make that work. So let's try it. So now, instead of soft duration, I'll just do this. Right to about there, another layer. And look at it again. I could flip it. I'm just going with it, folks. They won't be perfect legs, forgive me. I'm actually going to bring this above the blue now. And then just try to refine it a little bit. I don't know. The more I think about it, like, I gotta totally get away from trying to fix everything. Just think about how much more work I could get out, and then over time you're gonna fix it anyways, right? You're gonna get better with the volume of work you put out. So I always tell that to people, and then I forget to take my own advice. It's horrible. And I can't remember if he's got pointed toes. I don't think he does, so I'm not gonna throw those in there. Forgive me if he has pointed toes. I'm not really worrying too much about the character at this point. I'm just trying to get the pose working. And then I can go back and realize how bad I slaughtered the design of the character. Except sometimes it is counterproductive when you're working through all this and you realize like they have a peg leg and you were drawing a pirate, so you didn't need to really work on all the anatomy. But we know that Sabretooth does not have a peg leg. Unless there was an episode in the comic that I missed. Wolverine might have lopped it off, I guess. But yeah, so I think this one will work. Is it perfect? No. Is anything perfect? No. But I think it'll work. Let's see. And so for here, again, getting that bigger muscle lower on the leg, the side of the knee, and then having the lower leg start to encroach upon the upper leg, basically. So it starts to first go behind the knee area as we push it back. And then if it goes far enough back, like I showed you before, it basically would look like it's touching the upper leg. And the foot, we'll bring that a little bit away from camera, but not much. Like this one's pretty much pointed towards camera. One thing I can say though, if they're both coming at the camera, it generally isn't right. Your feet just, not everybody's, but a lot of feet kind of, point outward a little bit. So yeah, I think I can make that work. Is it, it still needs some work. It still needs to be modified a bit, but it's closer. And so, I know it's a lot easier. So if you're working traditionally, you're probably like, well, I can't adjust it in the ways that you did and stuff like that. But hopefully you still got an idea of how I work through these leg poses and get something going. Sometimes it's just a matter of redrawing it a few times, looking at some reference, and also just keep in mind that I'm really over stylizing aspects of it. I'm sure you can see that. This leg feels pretty thick. I could probably scale that back because I think he's more of a character. Yeah, let me do that. I think he's more of a character that you would see with, thinner legs. I mean, I've seen this character drawn all sorts of ways, but the real big, massive upper body with the thin legs. I think that would match his Does look a bit better. But it's all here. I can just keep pushing those in. I mean, shoot, you can even get in here with the liquefy command to make the brush big enough where it doesn't make like some weird artifacts. And then you can just kind of squeeze in parts of it. And you can isolate parts too. So you could select just the one area, get that. And you could scale in your, push in your proportions that way as well. Like that calf just feels really big. So let me push that in a little bit. Just a little bit. Is that good? I don't know. You guys can critique it. Tell me what you think. But let me know if these types of videos are helpful. We could do all sorts of body parts and elements of the art. And feel free to critique the work. You guys are always welcome to say, hey, Rob, you're losing your mind. That foot is totally wrong. I don't care. I mean, it's how we get better, right? You got to be able to accept constructive criticism. And like I said, I might just get off this video today and delete this sucker. I don't know. I'm kooky like that. Anyways, thanks very much for watching. As always, keep drawing, keep having fun, and more stuff is on the way soon.